Hello, everyone, and welcome to It Came from Webtoon. This is episode 2. Today, we're going to be talking about a webtoon called Ironwood. But first, let me say hello to my partner here, Michael Oden. How you doing, man?
We're doing fantastic, Eric. I got to pick this week, and I think that we're in for a good one.
Yeah, no, this one sounds pretty exciting. Art style's really good, and apparently this, this isn't their first webtoon either. They've got a really successful one out there, and we'll get into a little bit on that. But let's go ahead and start the show officially and roll the intro. I got to figure out why I'm getting that extra little bit of black at the end there. I need to maybe shave that off.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, that is. I kept coming back, and I was like, wait a minute, what? we're not back yet.
All right, so how did you come by Ironwood?
So about, I'd say, 6 months or so ago, one of my favorite one of this YouTuber I follow called Masked Man had started a webtoon that he put on hiatus to switch over to a different series at this point. But when I started reading that, I got a recommendation to read this webtoon called Starlight Lost.
Mm-hmm.
And I started Starlight Lost, and it's really good. I was dumb and didn't follow through and keep reading it, but we were looking for the second series to read about. Initially, I was saying let's do Starlight Lost, but then we noticed that they started a new webtoon called Ironwood, and Ironwood's only got 4 chapters right now, so there's not a whole lot to read. But what there is to read is absolutely outstanding, and so I figured, let's talk about this. It doesn't have near the level of following that Starlight has, but I think that this is going to be another one of those ones. This is going to be a big deal when they really get their stride going.
Yeah, okay. Well, we got it up here on the screen. Let's take a look at it. Ironwood, they got 98 subscribers, solid 10 rating, 756 eyeballs on this. And so basically we're talking about Izuka and the Ironblade mercenaries head to their next assignment guarding a small village from a group of pesky bandits. Although when they arrive, nothing seems as it first appears. A strange beggar alludes to Izuka. I think I'm saying that name right. Something far more sinister at work. Not long before Ezka. Not long before hunters from Imperial City descend upon the village, what will Ezka discover in the heart of battle? And just what exactly lives buried deep inside his heart? Check out the beginning of Ironwood. And I must say, the art style in this is really incredible. This is definitely a manga style, and
100%.
We're joking in Messenger. I kept defaulting to reading left to right, and it was messing me up.
Oh man. Yeah, it totally feel like that's always one of those things that throws me off whenever I go to Webtoon as well, because you've got a lot of people that do the manga style.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll straight up be doing the same thing where I'm like, I've prepared myself for this when I'm reading actual hard copy manga, and then you're going on here, it's like, oh wait, this just reads normal. Oh, okay. But I mean, you just look at this right now, and it just the level of detail in this, it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm trying to think of other manga to compare it to. It's kind of got almost a Full Metal Alchemist level of aesthetic. Not the same, obviously, like with the automail or anything, but the line work and everything feels very, very similar to that artist's style. I'm blanking on her name.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot of really nice detailed drawing going on in here. The shading is very good. They really know what they're doing.
no, it's one of those things where, manga became as big of a thing it is because there's this hyper minimalist style. But the thing that I've really liked in series like this, or even like, I'm a huge fan of Kentaro Miura's Berserk, and that's the big thing that allows for a series like this to stand apart is the character designs are hyper minimalist in their facial expressions and everything like that. But then they immerse you in detail in their world. All of the set pieces are incredibly well detailed.
Mm-hmm.
Even clothing, you can see almost like the little fibers and everything. It's got so much texture to it.
Yeah, and here we're coming up on the scene where we see the main character kind of start to use his powers without thinking, and start to get a glimpse. There's a little bit more to him than what meets the eye. And I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but he's definitely got a lot going on that his comrades are aware of, but they don't know the extent of it.
100%. And as you said, there's unfortunately 4 episodes of this, and I think that effectively what we have is kind of the introduction. It's kind of like the prologue to what's going to be this series, and I do hope that they get back to it soon. I think Erik, you said the last time they had updated was in August, so hopefully we'll be getting some more of this soon. But from what I read, and I think from what Erik read as well, this is a series to definitely watch out for. It's tremendous.
I love this whole interaction with the creepy old man, and we kind of get an idea that I'm thinking he's a demon.
I think he's the demon that they talk about in the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be a very similar thing where I'm not sure if you've read if you've read Berserk, but there's a whole story that's talked about in the Golden Age about angels taking down this demonic king, and you end up finding out that the story's been inversed by the god hand, and the demonic king was actually a heroic figure, and they were the villains. And I think that that's actually what's going on here, is this demon is actually not what the stories represent him to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the forces at work that are the bad forces of the book, it's going to turn out that they have manipulated that story so that people aren't accepting of the demon. God, it's so pretty.
Yeah, you really do get lost in the visuals in pieces like this. Once I figured out that this was done in traditional reading style, it was easy enough for me to continue to read it. But the breaks aren't. I mean, this isn't really. I guess this isn't really Webtoon formatted. It seems like this is something they've done, and I haven't read their other one yet. So is there other one? Does their other one styled like this?
It's pretty much styled like this. I think again that these guys wanted to do a manga, and it shows. There is actually one big criticism that I have of this, and that is its pacing. I felt that I understood what he was trying to do in these first 4 issues. I think that he should have extended this to 10 and got us a chance for the main character to showcase his attachment with the other characters, so that what ends up happening in the last 2 chapters hits home a lot more. Like that's one of the big things that again, I'm going to draw back to Berserk because that is my manga that like I freaking adore. Where they do something very similar to this with Guts and the Golden Age, where he gets immersed into the Band of the Hawk. He grows these attachments with these characters that have become a family to him, and then they're taken from him. And when that happens, it's raw, it's powerful, and it hits you hard. And I think that if he had paced these issues over a bit more, and maybe even allowed us to showcase him and his sellsword team going up against like a small team of the bandits initially and coming out on top and kind of showcasing them working together, it would have done this sequence here that starts in the third issue, the third episode, way more justice, and it would have been so much more impactful, I think.
Yeah, you might have something there. I really didn't have too much of an issue with the pacing, but I don't think it was just me. The entire altercation here, they're going with the marauders coming into the village. I thought was done very well. There's a lot of
100%. And like when I say like this is my own like the only thing that I have is this. And in all honesty, it's more of a style choice. Like I understand why they did it this way as well, and I still think that it is powerful. I just think that it would have been even more so if they pushed this over 10 episodes and you really got a chance to get to know these characters, so that when you have, oh man, what happens with this panel it could have ripped your heart out so much more if you knew more about the guy he's fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have been nice to know a little bit more, get a little bit more background in him. But I think what they were trying to do, this seems like this is a one shot. I think they're really just trying to get as much information out there and get an idea of if people want to see more of it or not.
Yeah. Well, it was effectively what they did with Naruto is they did like the initial story with the scroll, and it was only supposed to be a one-shot thing, and then everybody loved it, so they went and they did that. And I think that's smart. Grant says, "Hey there," and I see we've got Joshua Lyman there as well.
Yeah, making fun of my extra long black paws there on the intro. I need to get shaved up. But you know what? If I'd have waited until the show was perfect before starting it, then we wouldn't have started it yet. So it's always bugs to work out.
You're right. Erik would have found a different co-host. He would have found somebody completely different. If it was perfect, I wouldn't have Michael Oden here, okay?
There's so much that he does here without even they need words. And
yeah. You're saying? Well, Erik dies on the other line.
Yeah. One of my health conditions is I'll get dry in my mouth and start coughing and just.
The consumption, I see. Indeed. You got Empyrean
Vol. Hey, how's it going, man? So yeah, like I'm trying not to give away too many choice scenes in this, but there's a huge battle scene, a lot of really good action, and
I love how
a little bit more about him.
I love how he draws the freaking ferocity on that dude's face, just the viciousness.
Yeah, there's I don't know. It's just people look at manga and they think it's simplistic, but those who can do it really well, they say a lot with a few lines, and it's just really got a lot of emotional impact behind it. So,
that's the things I think that manga has gone through so much evolution at this point, where it started off as something where like a lot of the artwork didn't have a lot of line work and everything like that, but then you had people that came in and the basics of character design and everything have maintained the same. But I mean, you look at stuff like this
Hmm.
and you compare it to manga that came out in like the 80s and 90s, and it's a fucking different animal. Just look at the level of detail there. Like, yeah, it's still got like the hyper simplistic details on the face and everything, but then you look at things like, what's that? Is that his second arm behind him with all the tree bark and everything coming out of
Yeah.
it? It's fucking insane. Um, and just like and you know, you go back to that first page and you see them coming up on the town and freaking like I was fairly certain that he even went in detail on like blades of grass and stuff like that. Is very detailed in its setting, and I think that's where the big thing is now for manga is you might not put a whole lot into like the design, a lot of detail into the design of like facial features and everything, and those maintain simplistic its simplicity and minimalism. But then in the world and in the setting, everything from attire to set pieces, that's where your detail is, because
Yeah.
that's what gives it the depth. Like and like here is just it's a great example of it. These guys have done a tremendous job. In all honesty, like, I'm very excited to read more of this, and I need to go back and read Starlight Lost, because I mean, there's no reason not to. They're phenomenal.
Hmm. Yeah, there's such a good dichotomy between the calm scenes where everything is a little bit more plain. There's still, there's still detail there, but there isn't like what's going on in the action. And the action scenes are they're just pushing the accelerator on that, and it's just a really cool aesthetic.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I love this panel with him screaming with the smoke and fire on either side as soon as it scrolls up there, and just the expression on the face. It's just really, really good.
Dude, this one, the two faces there. Oh man. Or even the one right after it where like he's almost an entire blank silhouette.
Hmm.
So much raw emotion in these panels, man.
All I have are enemies. That's how it ends. So hopefully we'll see some more stuff from these guys, from the Starlight Lost creators on this Ironwood. It seems like a really good. I mean, it definitely held my interest. Great art. Story seems like it's a pretty good story, but just getting started here with these 4 episodes, and hopefully we'll see some more from them. So go ahead and check it out. Add it to your reading list. Give them a subscribe, give them a like, give them some comments. Let's encourage these guys to keep telling this story so we can get some more out of it.
And you know what? So, the first episode that we did of this, we had Erik pick one. I picked this one. And so for this third episode, for you guys that are here with us, if you guys actively read Webtoon and you have a series that is from the Canvas creators that you enjoy, put it in the chat and we'll go through and we'll take a look through, and effectively it'll be your guys' choice. We'll go find, we'll take a look at each of the series, and then whichever one Erik and I think is the best fit, we'll go and we'll do a review on it.
Yeah, and you can also DM us on the Twitter. What's the Twitter handle?
The Twitter handle is, I'm fairly certain, came from Webtoon. Let me take a double check. You can hit us up there for sure. Yeah, so it's at came from Webtoon. So you follow us on our Twitter page. You hit let us know in private message on Twitter which series you'd like to be featured on this show. We'll take a look at it. And if we like what we see, or hell, if we think that it's something that we could just have fun ripping apart, because not every one of these are going to be winners. And that's the other thing is, we're going to be an honest review site. if we don't like a book, if we don't like a series, we're not just going to not do an episode on it. We're going to talk about why we don't like it and why we feel that you should steer clear of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are also both creators here on Webtoon. Tell us a little bit about Elysian Fields.
Elysian Fields is the battle royale book of mythic heroes. We have been putting the 0 issue up on Webtoon in 3-page increments. We're up to episode 6, so we're almost done with that 0 issue. And with us being almost done with the 0 issue, I think that's a great tie-in to. We are closing out the Indiegogo campaign for Elysian Fields: The Pyramid Gambit. We're closing it out January 1st. And so we have a whole bunch of great stuff that are on the campaign that have come up in the past week. All of our original art is 50% off. So you have things like the Kevin Sharp original art for his cover. That's $250. You can get a copy of the book as well. You have Scott Rosema's original art. It dropped down to, I think, $300. And you get the copy of his cover of the book. And then the other big thing that we added onto this campaign was I had something special done, and so now these bad boys are available for purchase.
Oh, there it is.
And so we have the Achilles limited edition statue on the Elysian Fields campaign. For $800, you get this quarter scale statue made out of PLA material, beautifully hand painted. And you also get a hardcover edition of the book with the Scott Rosema cover that collects both the 0 issue and Pyramid Gambit. And then you also get a certificate of authenticity. So you get all of that for $800 plus shipping and handling. And I mean, there are only 10 of these being made after this one. Or rather, we will only make however many we sell, but we're only having 10 available to be made. So back the campaign. We're closing out here at the end of this week. So we'd love your support. And I'll turn it over to you, Erik. What do you got for us for Dreaded? You got another update coming soon? You're muted, bud.
I'm trying to get my mute button to be on my Stream Deck, and sometimes it's not. I forget that I've pressed it because it doesn't update in the browser saying that it's muted. The next episode hopefully will be done by the first of the year, first week of January. About 20-30% of the way through it, just trying to get it done. But with the holidays and the new year, I tend to like to take a break on things. But my book is called The Dreaded Dinosaur Man, and we're currently, let's see, what chapter am I on? 7, I believe. And there's a lot of story exposition going on. We're building to a big moment between all the characters, and looking forward to getting into our first big fight scene.
Scroll back down, Eric. We need to display it that you're the best booty drawer in comics right now.
She's okay. She's okay.
Very needs it. It must be on his show.
But yeah, we've got 7 episodes now. What am I going with that? I swear at some point I'm going to get a hang of using this app. I got 107 subscribers, 2,296 views on it. I'm holding steady at a 9.4 rating, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I just want to. I'm hoping to get the story to a certain point so that I can launch the Indiegogo book, and that'll be a 32-page comic. Hopefully, we'll have a 10-page bonus story for like a stretch goal. But I'm mainly focusing on getting the 32-page all-in-one story done that the Webtoon is leading up to.
Yeah, and in all seriousness, if you guys are looking for just a fantastically fun book, you can do no better than Dreaded Dinosaur. I remember when I was talking to Erik right after I had read the first few, and I stand by this wholeheartedly, is it feels like you are watching what is transpiring in a kid's head when they're playing with their action figures. and that's totally what it feels like. It's super fantastical. It's fun. You've got a giant beefed up dude with a T-Rex head whose best friend is a kitty cat, and they're going around kicking ass. You do not want to miss out on this webtoon. It is outstanding. The art is beautiful. You know, and it has no qualms just being what it is. Great fun. And in all honesty, we could use a lot more of it. So be sure to check this out.
Yep. And I started doing these little snippets on the characters, kind of like the old back of the G.I. Joe card box. Trying to get a nice
so cool, man.
for it.
It's so cool. The only thing that I would be butthurt about this is to be like, well, I can't actually cut it out now.
All right, cool. Well, that has been our show for this week. Like I said, hit us up on Twitter. You can send us something in the chat too if you have a webtoon out there that you really like, that you'd like to see us cover. We'd be more than happy to do that. And there's thousands of them out there, and it's hard for creators to get eyeballs on it. So that's the whole reason why we started this show, trying to find the underdogs that really need the spotlight. And it doesn't have to have great art and great story, but if one of those two is really good, it's definitely worth checking out. We can look into it. But just give us a hit up on Twitter at Came From Webtoon, and join us here next Monday, where we will have another webtoon to cover, and we are certainly looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All righty. Well, since I don't have an outro made yet, I'm just going to roll the intro once more, and we will end the broadcast. Thank you for those of you who tuned in and commented, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more bang for the buck on the next episode next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.